Skip Bayless' Twitter account has been a goldmine for horrible takes. Skip Bayless has repeatedly put his foot in his mouth over the past 2 decades. Whether he's discussing Tim Tebow, LeBron James, or even Kevin Durant, Bayless always manages to find himself in the middle of a controversy. Bayless has recently been in the headlines due to his Twitter fight with Kevin Durant, and considering the viral nature of the situation, we thought it would be a good time to highlight some of Skip's worst tweets of all time. Skip has never shied away from being the bad guy on social media, from hot takes to classless puns. So without further ado, here are some of his worst bird app moments. First up, Skip says Tim Tebow is better than Cam Newton. Skip Bayless adores Tim Tebow, so it's no surprise that the former quarterback makes up a sizable portion of this list. Because of his leadership and propensity to win games late, Skip predicted Tebow would be the NFL's future coming out of Florida. As a result, Skip went through a phase in which he claimed Tebow was better than the great majority of the NFL players we now admire. Cam Newton was one of the names on the list. While Cam has had some recent struggles, there's no doubting that he's had a much better career than Tebow, making this hot take one for the trash can. Next up, Skip once again disrespects Cam Newton, chooses Josh Freeman over him. Here's a practice exercise for you. Enter Josh Freeman Pro Football Reference into Google. There, you can learn whether or not the former Buccaneers quarterback had a greater career than Cam Newton. Freeman hasn't played in the NFL since 2015, and he was only a starter for a few seasons. He had one decent year in those 3 seasons, but it was never enough to propel him forward. Cam, on the other hand, is a former MVP who led his club to the Super Bowl. Sure, they lost, but at least he got them there. Given this information, it's almost ridiculous how flat Skip landed there. Next up, Skip calls Jay-Z overrated, declares Nelly better. For the purposes of this list, we decided to deviate from the sports script and include something related to music. As you can see, Skip chose to label Jay-Z as overrated while praising Nelly as a greater musician and hitmaker. If you're a hip-hop fan, this was a genuinely profane tweet, but you can't expect anything less from Skip. After all, the man is 70 years old, so debating with him is pointless. Sometimes, you just have to let a man make a mistake. Next up, Skip offers a ridiculously ill-timed Chris Brown pun. This isn't a particularly hot take, but it does come under the category of cringeworthy. To be honest, it's just disgusting and another reminder of how much Twitter was the Wild West back in 2009. Up next, Skip takes RG3 over Andrew Luck. Neither of these 2 quarterbacks achieved much during their careers. Much of this was due to injury, and they are both no longer in the game. However, it's clear to everyone at this time that Luck was the superior quarterback, and by a wide margin. RG3's style of play was ideal for the college game, but it didn't translate well to the pros at the time. It was dazzling and entertaining to watch, but it didn't last. Luck, on the other hand, attempted many postseason runs and nearly led the Colts to the Super Bowl. Simply told, Luck was the better quarterback. Up next, Skip calls Von Miller overrated. Skip enjoys labeling people as overrated, and in 2011, he labeled Von Miller, who now plays for the LA Rams, as such. Miller was one of the top linebackers in the NFL throughout his Broncos career, and he even won Super Bowl MVP in a year when Peyton Manning was the Broncos quarterback. Skip's tweet was one of his worst because Miller was the most crucial player on a championship roster. Whatever you think of Miller now, he was definitely the scariest man on the field when he was at his peak. Up next, Skip claims Peyton Manning will regret going to the Broncos. Manning made it to the Super Bowl with the Broncos in 2014, then 2 years later he won it with the same team. Meanwhile, the Titans and 49ers struggled in the years that followed, proving that Manning made the proper decision. Tebow, on the other hand, bounced about from club to club and never found success at quarterback again. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Any Sport, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. See you all next time.